Introduction. Managing global client dynamics. In global work, high-stakes client conversations are rarely defined by the words exchanged, but by the conditions shaping how those words are understood. Anyone who works across languages, cultures, and organizational boundaries knows how quickly communication can begin to bend under pressure, sometimes subtly, sometimes all at once. These moments often arrive without warning. A discussion that once felt stable becomes fragile. Decisions slow or reverse direction. Requests gain urgency but lose precision. Agreement seems present one day and quietly absent the next. When this happens, it is easy to assume that something has changed in the relationship or that behavior has become resistant, evasive, or difficult. Yet over time, a different pattern reveals itself. What appears confusing on the surface is rarely irrational. More often, it is the result of communication systems operating under strain. This book approaches global client dynamics not as a problem of personality or intention, but as a system under pressure. When conversations move across languages, cultures, hierarchies, and emotional thresholds, meaning no longer travels cleanly from one person to another. It bends. It compresses. It softens. It fragments. Behavior begins to adapt, not to disrupt the interaction, but to survive within it. Once this perspective settles, the nature of the work changes. Instead of asking why a client behaves a certain way, attention shifts to the conditions shaping the interaction itself. Cultural expectations influence how directly concerns are expressed. Language hierarchy affects who speaks with confidence and who chooses safety over precision. Organizational structures determine where decisions truly sit, even when they appear delegated. Emotional pressure reshapes tone long before words begin to change. These forces operate quietly, yet with remarkable consistency. A client who sounds vague may be navigating a second or third language under cognitive load. A stakeholder who appears indecisive may be balancing accountability they cannot openly name. A sudden shift in pace may signal pressure rather than dissatisfaction. Silence may reflect caution, respect, or face-saving rather than disengagement. When these dynamics go unrecognized, communication drifts. When drift accumulates, relationships strain. When misread, trust erodes, not through conflict, but through misunderstanding. Recognizing this does not remove complexity from global work. It does, however, restore agency. When you learn to see how conditions shape behavior, you can intervene earlier and with greater precision. You can stabilize meaning before misalignment hardens into frustration. You can protect dignity while restoring clarity. You can guide conversations back to steadiness without escalating emotion or asserting control. This is where communication becomes leadership. Managing global client dynamics is not a guide to persuading clients or managing personalities. It is a framework for managing communication environments. It offers a way to read the emotional, cultural, and linguistic climate of an interaction as clearly as its content, and to apply simple, deliberate controls that keep conversations aligned even when stakes are high. The tools in this book are designed for professionals whose work depends on clarity under complexity: consultants, managers, educators, healthcare professionals, service leaders, coaches, and anyone engaged in client-facing roles across borders. The aim is not to eliminate difference or pressure, but to work intelligently within it. As you move through the chapters, you will recognize familiar moments, conversations that became heavier than necessary, interactions that lost clarity without anyone intending them to, relationships that strained through accumulated drift rather than overt conflict. You may also recognize patterns in your own communication under pressure. This recognition is not a weakness, it is the foundation of skill. By the end of this book, you will not simply understand why global client conversations become complex. You will know how to stabilize them. You will learn how to hold meaning steady when conditions are unstable, how to reduce emotional load without avoiding difficult topics, and how to create communication environments where clarity, trust, and progress can coexist. Global client dynamics are an unavoidable reality of modern professional life. Managing them well is no longer optional. It is a capability, and increasingly, a leadership one.